Save Nigeria Coalition, a renowned anti-corruption group, has criticized the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) over its handling of the prosecution of former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello. The group alleged that the EFCC's actions are a shameful outing and a media trial that suggests a predetermined outcome. Speaking at a press conference on Friday, Dr. Felicia Eneh Daniel, its country director, said the EFCC's failure to detain Yahaya Bello after he voluntarily presented himself for questioning raises question about the agency's intention. The Save Nigeria Coalition also slammed the EFCC for allegedly writing barefaced lies and making irreconcilable blunders in its attempts to prosecute Yahaya Bello. Daniel demands answer to several critical questions, including why the 5 billion naira case against Senator Danjuma Goje was withdrawn by the EFCC, while the EFCC hasn't prosecuted the former governor, Samuel Ortom, despite corruption allegations, and why the EFCC hasn't investigated the prosecuted Ganduje. The coalition therefore called on President Bola Tinubu to intervene and ensure EFCC follows due process, warning that selective prosecution will undermine the country's democratic credentials. They urge Nigerians to stand up for the rule of law and demand accountability from the EFCC.
Bello on the media and destroy a man who has not been convicted by a court of competent jurisdiction, despite having legal representation as allowed by the law in all the hearings. It is also integrating that the EFCC will attempt to play on the sensibilities of Nigerians, that the agency has no sacred cows and will spare no one in its effort to rid the country of its institutions of financial improprieties. We invite well-meaning Nigerians to ask the EFCC the following questions. Why did the anti-graft agency accede to the withdrawal of the 5 billion naira case against former governor of Kogi State, Senator Danjuma Goje? We were all in this country when federal government suddenly withdrew its case against Senator Danjuma Goje from the courts. Why has the EFCC not prosecuted former Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue State, despite the monumental corruption allegation against him and the willingness of the present Benue State government to assist the anti-graft agency to unearth the endemic corruption that took place in the state during Ortom's government? Why has the EFCC refused to investigate and prosecute former governor of Kano State and now national chairman of the ruling party, His Excellency Abdullahi Ganduje, despite his indictment by the anti-graft agency in Kano State and monumental corruption cases filed against him by the Kano State government? What happened to the viral Gondola video? Or has the agency started keeping sacred cows? Why has the EFCC not prosecuted the current Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, despite the allegation of billions of naira and his refusal to appear before the agency when he was invited for questioning? Do we now have two laws in Nigeria, one for the Akpabios and the other? We can go on as a group that has dedicated years of its existence into tracking corruption cases under the radar of the EFCC. We call on Mr. President to intervene and call the EFCC to order as the unacceptable act of singling out a perceived politician, a political enemy, for persecution, if allowed, will become a big dent to his tall democratic credentials. While we do not hold brief for anybody, our group takes seriously cases of corruption and believes in imbibing international best practices in making leaders accountable for their actions. The current kill him at all cost strategy by the EFCC in this current case involving Yahaya Bello is crude and unknown to our law.